Be sexy.
Be sexy. I like the way Zach, take it away on our mission statement and all that stuff. And we could always switch this up for our next recording.
Yeah, I think it's. I'd like it to be me every time.
Okay, well,
if I can.
And then you leave. And then you leave.
Yeah. And then I was like, can't make it.
You're like the fucking whatever. I forget the name of the. Whatever.
Folks.
meow.
Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to PuzzyBoyz, the only, and so technically #1 podcast for strong men who love their soft cats. Yeah, my name is Zach Broussard, and my gorgeous little princess is named Mochi.
I'm Danny Solomon. My baby boy goes by Marv.
My name is Nick Maritato. My cat's named Lily. I do get embarrassed a little bit about being like so overly affectionate in front of people about my cat. It's something I'm working through on this podcast.
I think that's the whole deal, baby.
No, it should be embarrassing for you. And I'm Adam Newman, and I have my little man Greg, and my little lady Holiday. I didn't mean to say that. It's nothing embarrassing. Although we were talking, you kissed your cat a lot. I don't kiss my cat so much. That's
I
don't kiss my cat a lot.
That's what you told you.
I don't kiss.
You
my
gave
cat
me
a lot.
shit for not kissing my cat.
I don't
a lot.
kiss it on the mouth.
I didn't
fucking
say.
asshole.
I didn't say you
kiss
French
it on the
your
butt.
cat.
Yeah, I think we should just divide this up right now before we even talk about anything important. Who here kisses their kitty? I'm raising my hand right now.
I've given my cat a kiss on the head.
Kiss
I
on
will
the head,
say,
kiss on
and
the
this is the thing
side.
that I want to recommend to anyone at home. I don't kiss on the lips, like a Pretty Woman style thing going on. I find that a little too personal, but I do little Eskimo kisses. Little wet
cute.
nose. Cats have that weird little wet nose, and if
Yeah.
you just do a little wet nose kiss, it feels so good.
Now, when you say you don't kiss your cat on the lips, do you mean your lips don't touch your cat, or your lips don't touch your cat's lips?
I would say both, Danny. I think that's very weird.
Those are two way different
It's
things.
very fun to be like that. I find that so weird, but I do touch my sweet little nose on my cat's little nose, and
Yeah.
it tickles a little bit, and I love it.
I motorboat my cat all day long. I mean, just rubbing my
There's
whole
so many
face in his
teats. To motorboat a cat, you're like,
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I got two cats.
Danny's like fucking offended right now.
I just feel like you guys don't love your cats. I think me and Nick are the only people who really love our kitties.
I already tried a little bit. It's not like I'm like, oh, you can't kiss your cat on the head. I've smooched my cat on the head before. Mwah, love you, Greg. I'll do that. I'm just
Sure.
saying, the way Nick was talking to me earlier was like, what? He made it seem crazy, like I don't kiss my cat all the time.
Dude, you're making me seem like a freaking perv right now.
I know. That's the divide here.
I can't believe you're talking like this now. We were literally talking, and the way we were talking before, you were so not embarrassed. You were like, it's fucking normal.
It is
to kiss your cat.
That's why I'm offended.
Listen.
You were talking like Danny, and now all of a sudden,
All right, listen, I'm being a little shy. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just saying. But, you know, if there was a cat to kiss, it would be my Lily, because we did find out we've just did 2 podcasts back to back, or this is the second one. Lily came out, put on a little show.
Yeah.
I picked up Lily like a little baby puppet, and immediately everybody melted. Oh, you're right. This cat is
very
soft.
soft.
This cat is cute.
Softest cat. Looks
Okay,
a little bit
listen.
like a little bub.
So if I
Right?
listen, I don't want to get into that because I'm going to talk some shit about Little Bub in a little bit.
I know,
So-
but Lily's got a little bit of that face thing.
There is like a little bit like if a couple of genomes went the other way, you could have been a famous cat. But you know, her tongue is in her mouth, and if
That's
it was
yeah.
out, I wouldn't be
That's
licking it.
my one criticism of Lily: tongue and mouth.
I definitely don't kiss Marv with tongue. I'll say that.
Where are you kissing Marv?
I pick him up just like you're describing. I pick him up, give him a bunch of little smooches. He's my baby.
On his mouth?
not on his mouth.
Where are those kisses being placed?
Shoulder, head, wherever there's fur, wherever
The
there's cute little
vagueness
softness.
is what makes me
I
a
don't know,
little
somewhere.
uneasy.
I don't.
I
think
just
it's
don't-
that weird that you're doing it. I just think it's weird. It's like as a regular all the time thing. My wife kisses the dog all the time, and
I
I'm
find
just like,
that disgusting.
I do. I'm just like, he doesn't know what a kiss
And your
doesn't
dog-
mean anything
They
to the
of
animal.
course know that it's an expression of love.
I actually think that the kisses are for you, but scratches are for them.
I love giving.
Put
a
it on a. Put
I
it
get.
on a
Does your cat give
Instagram.
you? I get little love bites from my cat
Yes,
sometimes. I like
but
that.
Marv reciprocates the love. And I know where you guys are going to take that immediately into 69 territory.
I was
That's
not. I
close.
was. I was.
Not close to what I'm talking
Danny's
about.
cat has 69 lives.
So, all right, my cat will bite.
Save
me,
it for
but
the pun dump at the end.
Oh, I don't have one for this one.
We'll find a way to get
We'll
some
figure it
puns
out.
in there.
All right.
My cat will bite me when she's playing, but she plays I'm not really playing. I'm just hanging out. And then when you walk away, especially on that rug, that's her domain, and she will take me out on my Achilles heel by giving me a little nip on the heel, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
she will drop me.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you turn around, she flops on the ground. She's like, "It wasn't me, dog. It wasn't me." But, but so your wife kisses your dog on the mouth, the same dog
No,
that
why
eats
does
the shit
every time
of your cat?
anyone says kiss, you guys immediately go to, you just think everyone's Frenching. There's
got to be another word for
There's
it
no
then.
mouth.
We
There's
can
no
s-
kissing on the mouth.
Maybe like a
Smoochies. Little smoochies. We're men here. We smooch
Cuddling.
our kitties.
We smooch.
Or we kiss our wives.
We love
fuck
our
wives.
cats.
Yeah.
All right.
I've kissed my cat in a before on the head.
I've never kissed my cat.
Hey man,
I find that weird.
it's okay. You don't like your cat as much as we like our
That's
cats.
really it. That's all.
Oh, now
we
you
can move on.
do.
Well, now I'm ganging up. That's
Oh,
what
whoa,
I
whoa,
do.
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
like
But
the
I
cat-
also do the Eskimo kiss, and I think that's so
I'm gonna
cute
try
and fun.
that.
It's
I'm
so
excited.
sweet. Their noses are so wet. You
Yeah.
got to try it, you guys.
So wet. Such a wet house.
Oh,
Stick-
don't
See,
say it like
who's the
that.
perv
You're
now?
making me sound gross.
It's only wet when it's horny.
This might be medically true.
My nose or hers?
It's everybody's wet,
Yeah, if
horny
your nose
noses.
is wet, then it's basically sex.
Your cat's nose is wet because it's old and sick.
Yeah, it's melting. It's just melting.
Mary, do not listen to this
Oh,
podcast.
my God.
No.
Okay, so we have a topic. We're still doing some sort of a topic for these podcasts.
How long do you think this is going to last?
I don't know. I guess until we get into the mode at all podcasts where it's just oh shit, we have a podcast today. I don't know. I guess let's just fucking show
We'll
up.
book a
Not while
clown
I'm here.
Let's
Not
talk
while
about
I'm
what
on the
colors
case.
cats come in.
We're yeah. That's gonna be when we know to pack it in. We're like,
You guys ever seen a? I
guess it's red.
Red
I'd
cat.
love to see a red cat.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, you know, they have them you know what? I don't want to do this. I was kind of. Yeah.
So our topic for today is famous cats. We could start this off by talking about who is the first famous cat you remember seeing or finding out about?
I knew this one the moment you brought that up. Milo from Milo and Oates.
yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
I actually was. I've been a dog person for a long time. Only had dogs when I was a kid. Only recently transitioned to cats. Milo was the first cat that I thought was cuter than a dog. I thought Milo outclassed Otis in that entire movie. And then later I found out that they were filming in Japan or something like what it was. And the laws are a little more lax there. Long story short, there were a lot of Milos on
Yeah.
that shoot. And it was one of the worst moments of my life finding that out when I was a kid.
Yeah, it is pretty tragic. And it's not because they all wanted to do a scene. I think that several Milos died.
Is what I'm basically.
It's
I
not
thought it was like
it's
the
not
Olsen
like there's a lot of
twins.
aspiring cat actors and they all
Yeah.
want. I was like, I'll do a scene.
Figured it was because an
Put
age
makeup
thing.
on.
They can
No.
only work a few.
It's not
amount
like
of hours.
child actors. It was like
Mm.
no. I think that basically, yeah.
They
I-
drowned in the swimming in the river.
Yeah, there's a
scenes.
lot of big action scenes.
There's definitely a lot of pushing a cat on a raft down rapids. There's also cat very close to a giant bear. So
I
not only
don't
did
love
these-
knowing how many cats they had to have standing by.
I would
to
have
get scenes.
Yeah.
hated being on that set
Yeah.
so much.
Well, it sounds
but
like
also
they're-
loved it. It's cool.
yeah. I mean, based on the footage, it seems like those cats died horrible deaths. So that's bad.
I know. It's you ever watch an old school movie that's mostly animals and you're like, Wow, man, that dog's really cool. It's swimming across the ocean into that boat. It's just like they just threw a dog into the ocean.
Yeah.
You find out like Mr. Ed had his mouth like stapled together or something like that. Like it's all horrible back then.
The movie The Birds, they were just like throwing birds at people. It's
As
it's
a
never
guy
good.
who has been in a lot of low budget commercials, it's not better for people.
That's why we're on strike.
But I would say the first cat for me that I was aware of was probably Heathcliff.
Okay, so you went like Hydrox to Garfield.
I think that also it aligns more with my like POV, which is just like white trash. As like Garfield is clearly the better version. I like Garfield more now and did growing up, but I think Heathcliff is like who I think I watched more growing up, if I'm honest.
Garfield is a cat of means, of privilege. He has lasagna every fucking day, I think. I don't
It's
know
also
how
like
often he
there's
gets
like a
it.
snark that I didn't get as like a kid, where like Heathcliff is just like into funk music and he's just having a good time.
But all he has to eat every day is a fish skeleton on a trash can lid. That's like
it's
the
a
only
rough
thing
life.
Yeah.
And that was the same for me. And that's why I really...
Well, you were born on the bayou.
I was
You
born
were
on the
eating
bayou.
roadkill.
I've eaten roadkill, but that's not what this podcast is about.
We can segue into Zach eating roadkill, right? It's
Let's
cat
maybe
related.
say-
Did you eat a lot of roadkill?
Yeah, we ate roadkill.
Did you ever eat a run over cat?
Never a cat. It was
Thank
all like
God.
kind of vaguely animals you would eat. I would say
Yeah.
like squirrels.
Did you grow up with
turtles.
Do you remember the? Or
Wait a
the
minute. Hold on. Vaguely animals that you would eat, and then you just named two animals you would just never eat.
Wait,
If there's
Squirrel?
1855,
You never heard of turtle soup?
I've heard of it.
Now, have you ever heard of squirrel sandwich? Those are all common things.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
My dad,
I just pictured it with
I
a
will say,
full-on fur and everything.
I think
on
this
it.
explains why I grew up liking Heathcliff more than I expected, which is that I grew up with my dad had a bucket in the back of his truck, and I do like his mindset was basically if an animal had freshly been just kind of killed, he would throw it in the bucket.
I mean, it's free. It's early freeganism.
I really liked his mindset. He'd see a dead animal, he'd throw it in a bucket, ends talking,
Yeah.
doesn't talk anymore. Hold on, okay. It is freegan. It is. I get the theory behind it, but I do
Yeah.
need to ask more questions.
Okay.
So, all right, let's just say he drives by a squirrel, and it's freshly killed, whatever that means. I don't know. How does he know? He's got a thermometer.
Because you just like the way you go shopping at Ralph's and you're like, this meat looks bad. It's
Yeah.
old.
Yes.
Similar with squirrels.
You could tell. Okay.
Also, if the wheel only ran over the head of the squirrel,
Yeah.
then it's all meat.
I mean, this is a country boy, and he kind of knows. He's just sort of like, this is good meat, and
I
so
would hope it didn't get fully run over. It just like got scared from the car and had a heart attack. That
no,
would
they
be
were
ideal.
smashed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of smashies.
Okay, so now the bucket comes home. Okay, Daddy brings the bucket, and the boys come out, and they clap, and they go, the bucket's here. Daddy brought the bucket.
It's a full bucket.
What? Take me through the process of this squirrel.
Yeah, it didn't happen all the time, so I don't want to like set a
Dude,
stage
if it
that this is
happened
the lay-
once, we want to
It
hear the
happened
story.
multiple times, but I do. I have a couple memories of like a big thing was turtles. Like the turtles didn't have to get smashed on the road. If they were just crawling slowly on the road, they went into the bucket.
They came to the wrong
Oh,
house.
boy.
Yeah, because we'd make turtle soup every now and then. It was delicious. But I think my dad is
make
a
it-
real country guy who was not that country as an older man, and this was his way of just living on the land a little bit because it was just off the road, which is land.
Yeah,
Think about that.
I will. So, okay, the dead squirrel is now in your home.
Yeah, You clean it.
You clean it. You get the pelt off
It's
of
like
it.
I mean, maybe you ever cleaned a fish or anything like that.
It's nothing like this.
Yeah, no, you're skinning it, and
Yeah,
so
this
he's
is hard to imagine.
Yeah, that's not hard to imagine. You're skinning. You played Red Dead Redemption. It's not hard for me.
You basically there's a
You're
point where-
ripping the skin off.
Yeah, you just pull it,
And
right?
then
It
you're
comes right
basically
off.
just, like you're quartering a chicken. You want to crack that breastbone.
Oh man.
But essentially, you're just making like a stew or something. It's
so you're
it's
making a
Beverly
stew.
Hillbillies-y.
Okay.
What is the tastiest roadkill? Like, was there one that would show up in the bucket that you'd be like, "Oh baby, here's an armadillo"?
I feel like I'm overselling it. It didn't happen tons.
All right.
But I do think that turtles were good.
Okay.
Like turtle soup is good. Turtle soup's good.
Now,
I believe you if I ordered it in a restaurant, but but I'm also the type of guy that I couldn't go hunt. I've fished and eaten what I've caught fishing, but I couldn't do it with
you've
killing
eaten
it.
squirrels, which means you might eat a cat.
You'd think so, right? And I think the answer is maybe.
Do you think there's probably a small chance that somebody or all of us at this table have eaten a small portion of cat meat at some point in our lives without knowing it? Without knowing it.
I want to just say, just by eating at very cheap restaurants in New York City, we're just like, there's a thing where you just sort of trust that you're eating like beef and chicken, and I don't know if that's always true.
Definitely, certain food trucks. I don't want to get racist here. Obviously,
Please don't.
Skating a thin line.
German.
Any nationality can be serving you cat meat. It's New York. It's a disgusting place, and they're always trying to cut corners.
I also don't even. Even if you just bought a DiGiorno pizza with sausage on it at some point, there's no guarantee a cat
it's sort
fell
of
into
like
a vat of.
You got horse meat somehow getting into the IKEA food chain.
Yeah.
I think this stuff is just like messier.
You never know.
No one wants to know where their food comes from, but for my dad, he knew.
That is kind of the purest
It's like
form of carnivorism.
off I-46 over there.
We are off the rails.
Heathcliff.
All right. So
Oh my
long
God.
story short, Heathcliff is the cat I grew up with. I think he is who I maybe identify more as like a famous cat. I think I'm a Heathcliff guy.
Yeah.
But as an adult man, Garfield's way funnier. He's just funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved Garfield growing up. I thought the Garfield and Friends TV show was so funny.
Very funny.
You knew the guy who played the Garfield voice.
I didn't know him. I mean, he was
Not-
the guy.
he's your
Yes, he
uncle.
was. He pops
but
up in a lot of cartoons.
We talked about
Oh,
it.
who is it? I know-
Lorenzo Music,
Yeah, you
the
did-
late
I
Lorenzo
looked
Music.
this up online, and the fact that his name is Lorenzo Music makes me laugh more than anything.
It's awesome. It's an awesome
a great
name.
name.
He
It's an
played
awesome
Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah, real Ghostbusters.
cool.
Yeah, he was the original H. John Benjamin. I feel like back in the kids' TV days, he was like everybody. He was ubiquitous.
You know, I watched the speaking of turtle soup, I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which got me on a little Turtles kick. And on YouTube, on their like official account, they have like the first season all in like an hour and 45-minute long thing. It's like 5 episodes, and I fucking heard that dude's voice.
Isn't he
in
like
there.
Baxter Stockman or
Yeah,
something?
yes.
He's like, yeah, he's everywhere.
He's a big part of my childhood, and I love that Bill Murray plays Garfield in the movie. He kind of sounds like Bill Murray, and it's a trade-off because he played Peter Venkman in the real Ghostbusters. It's a good piece of trivia.
It's a real mind fuck.
Incredible.
Yes, I loved it. And then like not cats, but like that other fucking the Barnyard Animals.
U.S. Acres.
Yes, is that what it was?
With
US
Orson and Lanolin.
I may have liked that more.
I kinda did, too.
when it came down to it. I don't know what the idea was. That also a comic strip?
I guess it was just Jim Davis's like other, his side hustle.
Yeah, I loved that. They had like the weird. Remember, there was like the.
I know all the names. If you want to,
Please.
Wade the duck who had the floaty with another duck on
Yes.
it.
Okay.
Lanolin and her brother. He was a sheep. Also, the 2 sheeps, and then there was the 2 little chicks, and I remember one of them was named Sheldon because he was still in his shell.
Right, I liked Sheldon.
And then Orson was the main pig who was kind of like, he was put upon. He was like trying to keep everybody in line, but it was not going to happen.
It was good. It was good shit. I mean, it was.
You're like 6, and you're like, this is not.
Did you guys?
Bo was the boy sheep. Sorry.
Did you guys ever read the Garfield comic? Like, I remember having those little books. Like,
Yeah.
We had
those
the books.
Were really cool. Pretty simple stuff,
Sure.
but kind of fun. Did you see the Garfield movies? Were there 2?
I
Tale
think
of
I
Two
watched
Kitties was-
the first one.
Yeah, I don't think I see.
And I think it was like a plane situation. I don't. At that point, we were old. We were old. We weren't really following.
But even then, I mean, aren't those like just terrible films? Isn't like the
And I like that Jason Lee played John Arbuckle. I think that's like a fairly fun casting. As a guy who just a Mallrats head, I was excited about it.
And Bill Murray like thought that was a Coen Brothers film, right? Isn't that like the story? Because isn't the director named Joel Coen, and it's a different Coen?
Is it? Is
I
like
hope
an H?
that's I hope that's the game he played
And
to get
I
Bill Murray.
believe the classic thing is Bill Murray has no manager or agent. You just like send him a script and he reads it, and he got sent this script because like probably is like the same, Lorenzo music connection. And he was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll want to do it. And he saw like Joel Cohen on the thing. It was like, well, I guess if the Coen brothers are doing a Garfield movie,
Garfield.
I'm fucking in. And then he did. This is, I believe this is a true story.
I
but-
love a podcast that is just a bunch of people being like, I think I read this on Wikipedia.
Yeah, let's not get too in the weeds.
Well, we're
we
not-
can all just feel
Adam,
it.
most famous cat for you.
So if we're going, I grew up more on Garfield. We were big silly putty comic strip family, but earlier than that, I'm going Tom and Jerry.
Sure.
Tom was definitely my first like TV cat that I watched regularly.
So my wife works for Warner Brothers, and she's in the department that handles Tom and Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
In the animation department. Apparently, Tom and Jerry are huge in Japan. Like, it is the only thing they want to talk about on these calls. With all these other Warner Brothers properties, DC, all that crap, it's Tom and Jerry every time. I don't know what it is.
I imagine it holds up. I mean, whatever.
Does
it's
it?
just it's a cat chasing a mouse, and I mean it's very Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner. It's very I'm sure doesn't it feel like it's the violent cartoons that like a South Park or something
Itchy and
parodies
Scratchy.
or
Sure, yeah.
Itchy and Scratchy or any of that stuff.
Except I don't think Tom ever killed Jerry.
No.
I don't think
Which,
he killed him, but he was
that would be
trying
great.
to.
He was
Final
trying to kill him.
episode, though, I think
Yeah.
that's really where it should have gone.
Yeah.
Just
I
one
think-
violent squeeze.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would have
and then
been
him and all his friends are sitting in a jail cell.
I would have been
like
so
the end of Seinfeld.
I would have been so satisfied with a final episode of every one of those shows where, Sylvester cuts Tweety's head off or, he drinks his insides. Like, Wile E. Coyote just bombs the shit out of the Roadrunner. Like, just dead fucking on target shot with a giant rocket.
Now do Pepe Le Pew. How does that end?
Pepe Le Pew finally rapes
I
the cat girl
No, but
Finally.
Tom, yeah.
And goes to jail.
and goes to jail.
But cats are mean when they kill their prey, so it would just be like Tom.
You're making a
just,
note to edit that out?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to go back and edit the AIDS thing from the first episode and then now the rape thing from this. But we'll get a podcast out of it.
Yeah, we'll squeeze something out. But it would have been satisfying to see Tom at least beat Jerry. The things that these cats are the villains in all these cartoons. They're the
Kind of
antagonists.
interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of
Well-
what we're circling around with this pod. It's just sort of changing the narrative a little bit.
Yeah, for us and
Jerry
the cats.
could have just hidden and minded his business and say, but he also he poked the bear.
Absolutely.
I feel like I feel like in all of these cartoons, the victim is playing with magic. They get to paint doors that don't exist. It's just not fair.
Yeah, Jerry will always like move the mouse hole
It's just
to
not
the side.
cool.
It doesn't make any sense physically.
No,
It's not fair for cats.
Yeah.
As
Tom,
a
how do
guy
you
who
do
loves
that?
cats, I can't watch these cartoons anymore. Nick, famous cat. What's your most famous cat?
It's Garfield. We have a list of all of these famous cats that I believe Danny put together. And
Right.
I got to be honest. I learned about these cats when they were like around. Most of them, the thick ones. The ones
These are
that
like
we-
modern famous
Yeah,
cats.
because we're talking classic
But
cats, but
I
this
didn't
is
know.
different.
I didn't know. Once like Garfield and my childhood went away, like it was just like I don't know, Smelly Cat from Friends. Like there wasn't much else.
There was like a desert that we crossed where there were no cats.
It was just kind of dry for guys like us. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah.
not pushing cats on us.
And I
like
felt
that.
bad for my cat because he wasn't fairly represented in the TV shows like dogs
I'll tell you,
were.
it's from way back when, even around the time that the cats we're talking about now. But I mean, Toonces, the
driving cat?
Toonces
driving
was great,
cat.
yeah.
I mean, that was one of the. As a child, I connected to that anti-comedy bit. That was that sketch where the cat was driving for a second and then would always just drive off a cliff.
Another villain. It just seems like, they were just training us to feel like cats were mean or smelly or stupid or whatever, evil can be wrought. That's what cats are all about. And so I really didn't trust cats until I got one and I realized they're cuddly and fun and cute and little babies.
Or is that the toxoplasmosis that has wormed its way into your brain?
Worms are
That
in
is,
our brains, is what you told us on the last show, and
I mean,
I'm
basically
still
just-
feeling scared and weird about that.
It is a little weird.
I can feel the worms in my brain
Yeah, I
now
hate
after
it.
learning
Hate
about
it.
that. Do you remember the cat from Christmas Vacation, the one that got in the Christmas
Oh,
tree.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
great cat that is a cat that I visit every year, and it makes
Yeah,
me
of course.
laugh
Yeah.
so much.
She wrapped the cat.
And I love it.
That's a great cat bit. I mean, that cat I believe dies, right? I mean, doesn't that cat?
Yeah, and I was affected by that as a
course.
kid. I
You
didn't
have
like
to be.
that the cat died.
And also, Clark is affected. They're all affected. They
Yeah.
treat it with some respect.
There's a bit of respect in there. Yeah. I mean, what about Catwoman? I mean, we can move into.
I was curious.
Well, boy,
Catwoman
now.
was on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, "Do we treat this as a famous cat?"
Yes,
Well,
of
I think you
course.
have to.
After the conversation we had earlier about kissing and smooching cats, I don't want to talk about how horny Catwoman
I know.
made
Now
me.
this is a legitimate
Well-
as for a podcast for
Are
dudes.
we like? I feel like a shrink is going to listen to this episode later and be like, "Oh yeah, well this is what's clear."
We'll get a shrink on.
Did
one
you
of
see
these
the
eps.
video, the internet video of Michelle Pfeiffer, like the raw footage
Yes.
from Catwoman to show that she like learned how to crack the whip, like she knew how to actually do that?
I don't think I saw.
So this is just like a wide shot from the set, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes long of her just. It's the one where she's snapping the heads off mannequins and stuff, and it is just a wide shot, and it's just her just swinging the whip, like and doing all of those things IRL, and it is.
She crushes
Oh,
it
yeah.
in one take, and then just jumps rope with her whip off screen, and you can hear you can literally hear every single person on set get rock hard.
Yeah,
You can hear
I
it.
was middle school horny
It's
watching that
crazy.
video. When you think about cat representation, when you think about famous cats, it's like Instagram cats. It's like, YouTube cat. It's these like memeable cats.
Right.
And-
Current cat fandom is about the little bubs.
Right. Do you follow any of these? Like Little Bub, Grumpy Cat? Like, do you?
Well,
do you-
No,
they're
that's sort
both dead, Danny.
They are
Yeah,
both
they're
dead,
both
which is
dead.
tragic. They died of natural causes, I feel like.
Yeah,
Actually,
gunshot.
in
Do you
the
unfollow
research,
them after they die? I mean, because we were doing this, so I looked up a lot of these cats today, and it's like still very active websites and merchandise stores.
Yeah, that's
for
how
a
you
lot
know
of these
because the
cats.
owners they keep living.
Yeah,
And
cat
they
daddy's
have-
gotta eat.
They have bills to pay.
And how do you go from having an insanely famous cat and making crazy merch money to just like I have nothing now?
I mean,
little
it's-
bub
yeah.
to a little angel.
It's
Yeah.
fu- it's it's fine too because I mean, Bob Marley's gonna have a biopic coming out soon. Everybody's gonna be holograms after
Grumpy
we're dead.
Cat. Researching Grumpy Cat and Little Bub was enlightening to me because this stuff came around. I mean, Little Bub was on the scene like in 2011 or 12 or something like that, or no.
and by on the scene, just taking naps at his owner's house.
But just like they both popped off on Reddit or whatever around 2012. I think Lil Bub was first. But that was definitely the point in my life where I was really not concerned with things like Lil Bub. Like, I didn't realize that I should be tapped into memes until a few years later. And so this was like really like proto meme Lil Bub. And it's just like you had to be incredibly online at that point in order to like really understand the power of the Grumpy Cat and the power
I
of
kind
the
of
Lil
appreciate that and I think this kind of goes against everything that we like about our cats, which they're like adorable and they're soft and they're cuddly. Is both Lil Bub and Grumpy Cat? They just look like shit.
Bub. Yeah,
Right,
They,
and I
they
feel-
both have like disorders.
Yeah, and I do think there's like a level of the Grumpy Cat and Lil Bub thing, which is like the dark side of TikTok that I have to avoid, where it's just like, oh, I'm just like watching a guy who has like real problems. And they're trying to like make it some sort of like
Yeah.
cute thing, and I don't need this in my life.
Yeah, there is TikTok. I mean, we could do a whole. I mean, TikTok has stars on there who are
just like
people with disorders.
Well, that's
And
your
it's-
buddy Howard Stern started that whole thing, I think.
You're 100%.
Lil Bub would be in the whack pack.
That is a thing, though. That is a thing, though. That the super famous like meme cats started a little bit, which is which I almost did when I got my cat. Is there was a one-eyed cat sitting over there, and you do start going, well, if I got that cat, we got potential
Cha-ching.
of blowing up on the internet and
Yeah.
making some money or something.
think about it.
which is gross, but also,
But also, like, you need money.
Honestly, yeah.
and you're like, I'm going to take great care of the cat. I'm
Honestly,
gonna love
I
the
think
cat.
about this a lot because is a thing that, as a I'll
Poking one of
mention
your
the
cat's
fact-
eyes out?
I'm going to mention the fact that I'm a commercial actor multiple times on this, but I think about it a lot. There's like I need to either be like way hotter or way more effed up looking if I'm going to be a
Yeah,
successful commercial actor.
According to Grumpy Cat and Lil Bub, you need to have an extreme form of feline dwarfism.
And I don't know how to get it. I would love it.
You got to inhale more of that cat
now-
shit. Eventually,
Yeah.
eventually it'll mess you up.
Let the worms win.
Okay, so like, which one were you more familiar with? Like before we started kind of talking about
Grumpy
this?
Cat.
Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy Cat was I felt like was
The
the
OG.
most famous, if not the first.
I've
Well,
actually bought Grumpy Cat merch.
Lil Bub.
for-
It's
Little
Lil
Bub.
Bub.
Now, Little Bub came around first, then Grumpy Cat, but both in the same year. Both, I believe, had the same manager. Which I mean, let's interview that fucking guy.
Yeah, we should.
Wow.
As
That's a character all day. Cat manager.
And what I think is interesting, Grumpy Cat may have come around first. I do not want to do more research on this, but what I find interesting is Grumpy Cat and Lil Bub both featured in TV and movies, but only one had their own movie, and that is Lil Bub and Friends, and Grumpy Cat's in that movie.
Wow, so
Oh.
it's like when
That's
Megan Fox was in the Olsen twins movies or whatever it was. Crossover. it
Nobody
stars.
say anything.
I don't see why that's so bad. Here's the thing.
No, I find it's not about crossover stars. I just was like, you're Grumpy Cat. Hey, I'm Grumpy
You
Cat.
got
It's like,
your own thing going on.
I gotta be in Lil Bub, and I'm N Friends. Like, hey, I got my own feline dwarfism.
I mean,
like, I can do this.
That's why you
I'm
got even
grumpy.
grumpier.
Grumpy Cat was not a dwarf cat though, right? He had a
No.
big face.
and you know
He
what
also
I like?
did-
also suffered from dwarfism.
Oh,
You know what I
Man.
like about Grumpy Cat, and I think that's why he's the best of the two, is like it is like the most memeable like personality. Like it's a good brand because like you just you know what Grumpy Cat's face does. And you know, like, if you're just trying to say something on the internet, which is just basically like, when Applebee's is out of the poppers or whatever. I don't know why.
And Little Bub looks a little bit more like
friendly. It's like cute.
He has the tongue out.
yeah,
he has the
he-
goofy face.
He looks like he's not doing okay.
You do feel a little bit sorry for him.
Lil Bub, so like the story of Lil Bub was the runt of her litter, born to a feral mother. She was born with several genetic mutations, had to be bottle fed, and had difficulty being adopted. So this guy, Mike Bradvinsky, who is Lil Bub's owner, who is, I don't know, a trillionaire now, like adopted this cat and was like, I guess I'll take this cat. Had to bottle feed Lil Bub. That's what you didn't see behind the meme. Is that cat? These cats are sick. These
How
are
much is
sick
that
cats.
worth? How much is bottle feeding your cat for a few
Oh, man,
weeks
I was
worth?
about to say- all right, but Lil Bub is kind of. I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah.
there are like certain folks that Lil Bub, we kind of meme as humans. We're like, look at this person. And you don't realize that person you have to like is like going through dialysis every night, but before they're like out on their reality TV show. Lil Bub's a version of that, and so we kind of we take that for granted with these fun. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. No, these cats are sick.
This guy took a chance and cashed in.
You're saying the cat did not deserve to live.
Did I say that?
Oh,
Or
I'm
allude
just
to
trying
it?
to understand.
No, I'm saying that we need to respect some
Yeah.
of these cats a
No.
little bit more. They're not just cute faces. They're also they're ill, and these owners, they're making a lot of money, but they took a chance on adopting a cat, not knowing that it was going to be the biggest cat in the world, and just happened to fucking step in some really
made,
golden cat shit.
I
Golden cat shit.
followed the cattails of this train, and I made a internet video with my cat, with Mochi, in like the late aughts that did really well. I got like 100,000 views, which is like, for me, which is like a big deal. And it was when Downton Abbey was really big. I made a bunch of scenes with Mochi. I put her in like a very Victorian little kid's dress, like a doll dress. And it was called Downton Tabby.
Nice.
And it just crushed. And it was like peak BuzzFeed time where it just got on all the lists. And it was the dumbest, cheapest thing I ever did, where I was like, I'll make a living doing this. Cranking out cat videos. Didn't make a second one after that.
Well, that's why we're doing this now. We're taking a shot on an all boys cat podcast.
Yeah, we eliminated the cats. Too much drama.
Yeah, who needs the cute when we've got us, the manliness?
Don't watch
that
cat
we
videos.
exude.
Listen to us talk talk about
It
the
is a
famous
very
cats.
funny thing to be like, you love cats, but
Yeah.
what if theoretically you just watch old men talk about the thing you love?
Talk about fucking and cum and stuff that we always bring
Stop
up.
saying come. But Dan, you actually put this list together for all
Right.
these cats. I mean, there are other cats other than Grumpy Cat and Little Bub. Can you just kind of quickly take us through some of these other cats
So-
that are kind of infamous or famous? I
Yeah,
guess?
so I mean, there are cats there's a cat named Unsinkable Sam, who was maybe the original Grumpy Cat, Little Bub, the original famous cat. This was in the 1940s, though. He was actually in the war, World War II.
But wasn't he a Nazi cat?
So I was gonna get to that. He was on many different, German boats that got
my
sank.
God.
Yeah.
And he managed to survive every single time. And even he made it to Hitler's bunker. Nothing happened there. He survived that. Lived a long and happy life. And he's the last surviving Nazi. I don't know. What do you want me to say? He didn't know what was going on. He was just a cat, and they couldn't kill him. America could not kill him.
Do you know how many lives that cat had?
9. So there's another
9.
cat. Yes.
It's a good joke.
There's another cat on that list who was like, they're like, yeah, this is a cat who went to space, but like, he like accidentally went on a Russian space shuttle or something.
Right. Yeah. He was a stowaway on a Russian expedition and ended up.
But they found him
yeah.
right before. But then there was a second cat,
and that one.
they did not find him, and he just burnt up in the atmosphere.
Yeah. So when they were sending.
This is a podcast for people who love cats and were so immediately already starting off with the Milo and Otis dead cats
I
on
just-
set.
there's this list
None
of
of
the
us
most
want
famous
to.
cats.
We all love cats.
They're all cats that either died or were Nazis, and it's
I guess I want the Nazi cat to die.
So,
I don't
all right.
root for the Nazi
send
cat.
him to space. I say.
Send them to space.
So we can be more upbeat and move on to celebrity cats because that's also a thing. Like celebrities are flaunting their cats more than ever on the Instagrams and so forths. And I feel like that's the life. That's the cat you want to be. I feel like every cat, when they're kind of, at the shelter, they're auditioning for you. They're trying to figure out what's going to get them adopted. Their dream in their head is to be at Taylor Swift's house, on a giant cushion in front of a roaring fire in an 8,000 square foot mansion room. That's the kind of thing cats dream about. And all of these different celebrities are flaunting their cats. And I feel like that is a much better situation than our
I do think
cats.
that there's like we talk about like the Instagrams of the world where it's like the separation between the haves and have-nots for people like pretty big, but for cats even bigger because like the cats at the lowest level are just really getting just not a great situation.
What's sadder
yeah.
than seeing a post of a cat with like 4 likes on it?
It's a bummer.
You're like, oh my god!
It is a bummer. If you throw your cat out there and it doesn't get
it's like all you
100
got.
likes minimum, it's a bummer.
It is
So
a bummer.
I posted I felt like a great photo of Marv with his little basketball toy. He kind of has it under his paw. It looks like he's
Posing. He's doing a
posing.
dribble.
Dream Team, 11 likes.
That's
Still mad about it. Still mad.
I think that tells you that Marv ain't shit, right?
Marv is a beautiful cat.
ain't soft enough.
And so soft and so friendly.
I do want to bring up, before I forget, a cat that was very important to my childhood. God, it made me laugh. It made me cry. It was my idol at one point, and that is Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, sure. Well, if we're talking about movie star cats, then
I
yeah.
mean, was there
Remind me.
Yeah.
Austin Powers?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! I'm so
Sorry.
sorry.
What
I
are you
feel
guys,
ashamed.
fucking stupid?
I'm glad I asked just to know,
I'm ashamed.
and
I
I
do-
now
I
I know
thought
who
this
it
was
is.
Pussy Boys All Z's.
Jeez.
I'm so sorry. I really was just like Mr. Big.
His
I
real
know
name.
it sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember.
His real
Dr.
name.
Evil's goddamn cat.
Yeah. The cat actor's real name is something funny too. I can't pull it up because I can't turn my phone on. But
Mrs. Bigglesworth.
That's one of my favorite things in the world is when credits roll on a movie and you get to see what the animals' names are.
It's so funny.
Awesome.
It's like a horse. I like when their names are just kind of different too. It's really funny.
Like Gary the horse. Yeah. I mean, this one though.
Gary the horse.
If somebody's got their phone on, look it up. But it's like Mr. Skin or something. It's like a pun.
Mr. Skin is somebody completely different.
Right.
There's a lot of pussy with Mr. Skin as well. But
I think there's something about too how many like animal actors are not cats. Like I feel like you have the Lassies of the world. You have the you have got Mr. Ed and all that. I think a lot of people see the lack of cat representation as maybe cats are too stupid for acting, but I think they're too smart for Hollywood.
Yeah, they're really so when
they know the thing that we all don't know or we're taking too long to learn,
right?
Which is like this system is going to chew you up. They don't respect your humanities. Maybe not the right.
They don't
word,
respect
but
talent. It's not a meritocracy.
Humanity.
It's not a true meritocracy. Cats can understand that.
They just inherently get it.
Was it Sabrina the Teenage Witch Cat a fake cat?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I'm just remembering. Like if I were to watch it, I would know.
Yeah. And so was the Hocus Pocus cat. That's
Okay,
another
so
animatronic.
Mr. Bigglesworth's name in real life, it's played by a champion purebred hairless Sphinx cat, and their name is SGC Belfry Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent was the that was it.
That
was it.
Nice.
Yes, okay.
Who wrote Cat Scratch Fever? So there you go.
Robert Downey Jr., cat owner. He's one of the many people I put on the list of celebrity.
And he's
cats.
a man.
Celebrity.
He is a man. There's lots of Russell Brand.
We call them cat daddies.
Cat daddy.
Call them cat daddies.
PuzzyBoyz, I prefer.
Cat mommies. People
Freddie
like
Mercury.
Taylor Swift.
Freddie Mercury was known. I remember in the movie,
Freddie Mercury.
Not only did he have a bunch of cats, when he got famous and got his big giant houses, he had the cats had their own rooms. Like every cat had their own.
I actually find that a little tacky.
It's a little weird.
I don't love
No, I don't think that cat doesn't even want that.
So Robert Downey Jr., 2 cats, a proud owner of Montgomery and D'Artagnan.
That says a lot. What you name your cats, like I think Taylor Swift's 2 cats, if I can remember, Olivia Benson and Meredith Grey.
You got that right on the nose.
Damn, yeah. All right.
Incredible.
I like that Danny pretended to be thinking it. Like, what is the thing I know?
I'm a Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift and all the news surrounding her.
I did a little Nicolas Cage research. At one point, he had a cat named Lewis, and then later had a cat named, I think, Merlin. Those are good cat names.
That is a good cat. Here's
Merlin's
an interesting one.
Cat name.
Katy Perry has 2 cats, okay? The first cat's name is Monkey. The second cat's name is Kitty Purry. That's gonna make Monkey kind of feel a little bad, right?
Right.
I mean, that's like a naming, like where your brother is like Junior and you're just like some piece of shit.
I mean,
some piece of shit is a bad.
I would name the other one California Girl or something.
Oh,
sure,
have a little fun.
Yeah,
that's good.
I kissed a cat and I liked it.
Nice.
That's
that's
something Danny would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cameron Diaz's cat is named Little Man. What do we think about that?
I like it.
Lazy.
You don't like
that
it?
Is lazy.
I don't know if I like it as a name, but
lazy.
I had a roommate in college who used to pick up the cat and go, "It's my little man," and I always liked it. It reminds me of that.
Than names.
She named it after the movie. I'm pretty sure.
What the little big man? Which movie? Which is the little man?
Isn't there
the Marlon Wayans.
The Marlon Wayans movie.
Sure, that's
where the guy had dwarfism. Just a little buck.
I also us Vanderpump heads should know that they have a dog named Little Man.
Oh, I don't know that.
Ken and Lisa Vanderpump.
Is the dog named Little Man?
Yeah, I don't like that name at all for any animal. It's demeaning.
I hate when you said monkey. I immediately that to me is like a dumb. All right, I've heard that kind of name a million times.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear someone has, it's my cat. Its name is Oliver. You're like, you fucking didn't even try with this.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think any of us really. I mean, maybe occasionally, but I don't use Marv's name often. I have basically I have like a list of other side names that he mostly gets called.
Which you would reserve Little Man for.
Little Man is that. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That is exactly it. I mean,
full name, Little Gentleman.
Now, that's a good question. What is your cat's full name, or do they have a full name beyond their name?
My cat's full name, although we call her full name is Little Man on TBS.
It's always
Characters
interesting.
welcome.
We call our cat Lilith when we
is
we
Lily
wanna-
is she named after any particular person?
No, I think just was named Lily, and then
It's not Frasier
just,
related
just
at
thinking
all.
No, but
Yeah.
Lilith. That's
had a
we
dog.
kind of tried to force it in there.
I love it.
We have a friend who comes over sometimes who watches the cat or used to watch the cat and or has just seen the cat, and she calls him her Lillian. And I'm just like, we kind of like let it go, but it's like, it's
That
Lilith.
ain't no
It's
friend.
Other
Lilith.
That ain't
people
no friend.
come over and give our pets like new variations. You're
Don't
like,
like
you
it.
don't get to do
Yeah,
that.
only the owner can change or modify the cat's
Yeah.
name in any way. Marv's full name, it's on his collar, is Marv Patrick Mahomes Solomon. His middle name is Patrick Mahomes.
Does Patrick Mahomes have a cat?
No, he has two dogs, Steel and
Oh,
Silver.
See, this is, and bad names.
Surprised you didn't just go with Patrick Mahomes.
I think the funniest thing about Patrick Mahomes' situation is he had the dogs first, Steel, Silver. Then he had two kids, and their names are Sterling and Bronze.
Oh, that's
Wow.
incredible. I now like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Martha Stewart apparently had tons of cats. You want to hear some of those
Yeah,
names?
let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
many pets over the years did Martha Stewart have, including a shelter cat named Chiggy, the gorgeous Vivaldi, who lived to be 19 years old, his brother Verdi, Uncle Vanya,
Ugh.
a cat named New Kitty.
Is the whole name a cat
New
named
Kitty,
New
I
Kitty?
don't
New Kitty.
like.
Just
New
New
Kitty
Kitty.
sounds like you got a new cat and you have a bunch of cats and you're like,
Now,
we'll
is
just
it
call
new
that
like
New
new
Kitty.
metal, like in you?
Yes.
Because I do think that's
That'd be
cool.
cool.
It's like-
That's good.
And Weenie.
I think she got lazier over
Yeah.
Yeah,
time.
New Kitty
Yeah.
and Weenie are like,
I get the
You're New
vibe,
Kitty,
and I
you're
don't know.
Weenie.
Obviously, I don't know Martha Stewart, but I get the vibe that she has gotten a little drunker as time has gone.
I think
and
it's
things are
dementia,
just getting
yeah.
sloppy. Things
Yeah.
are getting sloppy because look at those first names. She's really bringing the heat.
Yeah,
Her
there's
later recipes are just like throw a couple hot dogs in the plate and microwave
You
it
know,
for 45 minutes.
You
and
can't
that's-
blame her though, because jail changes a person.
That's true. And
That's true.
there's a big gulf between Uncle Vanya and Weenie.
yeah.
That is a shame.
Weenie's
She's
after
deteriorating.
she's been hanging out with Snoop for a while.
Now are we going to talk about the presidential cats?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
our
I think
president
we have
right
to talk
now.
about the presidential cats.
please,
Yeah.
please do.
Well, there's a current story about that the White House had to put out a story
Oh.
that the president, his cat, Willow,
Yeah.
so President Biden, our President Biden,
Yeah.
my president. This is my president. He did. We won't get into that. But Willow has free reign over the whole White House and often sleeps on Joe Biden's head.
Which is dangerous. I don't want to. We're gonna have President Kamala one day when he doesn't wake up.
I do feel like that makes me think that Willow is like a secret agent, cat agent sent by Kamala to like ascend the presidency. She's just like slowly inch further and further down
Yeah.
Joe Biden's forehead.
Are we afraid that our cats are going to accidentally kill us in our sleep?
I don't. I remember hearing that as like some story when you're young. Even in school, it was like, oh, that you hear that urban legend: a cat will crawl into a cradle and take the baby's breath or whatever it is. I remember looking it up at some point. I don't believe there's a documented case of that that's ever existed ever.
That's good to know. What about the eating of the eyeballs when you die?
They say that it's a real thing that cats will eat your face, but that's only when they're pushed to it by the fact that
And
you've
they don't
died.
do it. They don't do it when you're alive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's important to say.
Also, if you die and like, Ashley's still alive, she'll probably, make sure you're taken away properly and the cat's fed.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think it's just like,
Sometimes-
oh,
or she'll eat your eyes.
Sometimes
Yeah.
Ashley
They'll split
sleeps
'em.
in till like 9:30, and I just start like eating her cheek. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Not your-
I want to mention this before we get off celebrity cats. That a funny anecdote, and I do love this for this man. Nicolas Cage has a cat named Lewis, and apparently he told a story on Letterman once where the cat ate all his magic mushrooms, and
Wow.
loved them. Like that's all it says here. He loved it.
I watched the Letterman clip.
It was-
Did you
what's-
watch it?
no,
So I
what-
watched the whole story. So his friend gave gave him mushrooms. He put them in the fridge. I guess the cat opened the fridge.
Yeah, this
whatever.
is where it gets a little
I know.
dicey.
And ate the mushrooms. This was a story from the Letterman clip. And then he ate the mushrooms, and so Nicolas Cage was like, "Well, I guess I'll eat mushrooms with the cat too." Which I smoke weed with my cat all the time. I mean, I give him catnip. I smoke weed. I give him a snack. It's great. So I guess Nicolas Cage is like laying on the bed, and the cat is on the dresser, and they're just like staring at each other for like hours. And Nicolas Cage goes, and that's when I realized he was my brother. And you're like, that sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. Lily would die. She would not last.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of
I
cats
do
who
little
would live.
mushroom microdosey stuff at home all the time, and like it's so fun to hang out with your pets when you're just like in that awesome heightened good mood.
That's true. Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, I stick to weed really when I'm around Marv, but it's fantastic.
You get violent when you drink around Marv.
I can't. Yeah, I get violent when I'm on mushrooms. Also,
And I do meth
I'm
with
violent.
Mochi, and I like that she's so light because I get so strong.
Yeah.
Are your
My
cats big?
8-pound cat.
Are your cats big catnip cats?
Mochi, I think, is a little too old for catnip, where she likes it, but it scares us.
Oh.
You know, it is sort of like you don't want to watch like a 90-year-old woman like running a marathon.
Yeah.
Like you kind of want them to just chill out and take naps and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like I'm always like so baffled by what catnip is, how it works, and what it does. Like it's like, what's going on here? Like my cat literally turns into like a fiend.
There's a couple of things, and it's similar to Danny's kissing, which is like, what of it? What
Why
part
is it
of
just mine?
What part of it is for us, and what part of it is for them?
I feel like I just put like a toy in a little bag of it. I got the Meowawana brand or whatever.
I got it in
love
the closet.
It's awesome. I put it in a little Ziploc bag and shake it up, and I give it to each of my cats, like on either side of the couch, and they both. Holiday just kind of tries to eat it. She likes to kind of eat it, and she doesn't really freak out, but she just likes it. And Greg is immediately just like on his back playing with the toy and
Yeah.
rolling in it. And it lasts a few minutes, and then he's just goes and takes a nap. So I
So
don't.
it's more like
Right.
salvia.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's like
trip
a real
hard.
quick, intense high, and then on to the next thing.
Yeah, Greg
Sends him
thinks
to the
it's been
moon.
2 years, but it's
Yeah.
really like 90 seconds.
Yeah. I give Marv DMT. It's actually
Cat DMT.
Yeah,
It's actually it's more effective when I give Marv CBD. I feel like that's what he likes.
Oh, so you're like getting your cat stoned.
well, when are you stoned when you take CBD?
How
It's
else
just
am I gonna
mellow.
kiss
It's
him?
mellow. He loves kisses.
We've talked nice about all these goddamn cats,
Yeah.
haven't we?
We have.
I think it's time we take them down a peg. Huh?
Yeah.
What do you say we take out some really poorly, quickly written, terrible roast jokes for some of these cats, and slang them if you got them? I will say that mine are bad, but I only focused on Lil Bub and Grumpy Cat, and then I gave like a couple of quick shots to some of these other famous cats. But if anybody wants to jump in there, if they want to, you don't have to do them all. You can just do a couple or one.
Let's start with the big ones. Let's start with Grumpy Cat and Lil Bub. Let's
Okay.
get.
Who's
those
got
going.
one? Who's got one?
Here, I'll start it off with I'm not a big roaster. I can't take it. You roast me, I'll cry, dude.
Yeah,
don't
I
want
would
it.
like to see that roast.
So here we go. I got a Grumpy Cat one, right? I call Grumpy Cat Etsy Cat because it's the only other thing I've seen sell as much useless merchandise.
Ooh.
Hello.
Roast City. Anybody else got a Grumpy Cat?
I have one Grumpy Cat.
Let's hear it.
I don't know if it's good. But, so Grumpy Cat died at age 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think she lived a full life, though, because she was grumpy and ugly as shit before she reached her 40s, like us.
Very nice.
You turned it on us.
Like us.
Like us.
I got a Grumpy Cat. Okay, Grumpy Cat got its name for its permanent grumpy look. I'd be upset too if my owner was fucking me financially.
Oh, very true.
The cat made not 1 cent.
Died
You got
broke.
Grumpy Cat?
I wrote just about celebrity cats. I can start that ball.
Well,
rolling.
I got let's finish it. I got another Grumpy
I got
Cat.
a lot of Grumpy Cats.
I got
Keep
a little
going.
Bub.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, I got one more Grumpy Cat.
Let's
Ready?
go.
Grumpy Cat looks so depressed, right? Like he looks so. I bought a Grumpy Cat calendar as a Christmas gift for a friend. He hung it up on January 1st, then hung himself on January 2nd.
Oh.
I liked it. Grumpy Cat first went viral in 2012 on Reddit. It was Grumpy Cat and a guy who could fit his whole fist in his ass. Those were the two.
And a guy who could fit grumpy cat in his ass.
I got another Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat's real name was Tartar Sauce, which is ironic since that's what he was eaten with after he passed away.
Oh.
So that's pretty good. Grumpy Cat died of a UTI. That's a true story. Grumpy
is
Cat
true.
died
I
of
saw
a
that.
UTI.
Made me sad.
And just like my grandmother, this cat died with a stinky pussy. And
You gotta edit that one out. I think that one doesn't make the cut.
I took the reins on celebrities' cats.
All right.
So I'll do a couple here. Ricky Gervais.
Oh.
Ricky Gervais has a cat. He posts with it on Instagram a lot. Big cat dad. I guess it must have a lot of hairballs because his neighbors keep complaining about loud hacks.
Nah.
doesn't believe in God.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah.
I'll try one more. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a pussy boy. Just got 2 Siamese cats after he retired. He's actually against getting them neutered. Instead, he's just going to have their balls deflated.
That's pretty good. Also, Tom
Really
Brady
great
does
joke.
kiss his cat on the mouth.
He does? Well, he kisses his son on the mouth.
Sure.
That's a completely different world.
Zach, you got one?
This is not so much a monologue joke, but I think it's very funny to think about Joe Biden's cat sleeping on his head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like I can't think of something. It's like, you know, the future that liberals want. I think that like for conservatives who are fully wearing MAGA hats, I think that is what they think like really pussy liberal men wear on their heads. Like
Yeah.
we just wear our cats on our heads.
Even more pussy than like a vagina hat.
I just think it's a very fun premise of just the weakest men they know just wore their cats on their head. And I'm just going to say Make America Spade again.
Ooh.
Very good.
Pretty good.
That's about Bob Barker hat or something. I got a couple Willow jokes. Do you have any Willow jokes?
I have a little bub joke.
Well,
Yeah.
Can I want to finish up with the president one, and then we'll move on.
Oh,
to
I
Lil
have,
Bub?
I have one president.
Oh yeah, that's
joke.
he was doing the president joke.
I have one about Clinton's cat.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
do
I
that.
can. Then I can do one after
Okay,
that.
so Bill Clinton had a cat named Socks. It's crazy because Bill Clinton might have avoided some controversy if he would have done like the rest of us and just jerked off in socks.
Some people jerk off in socks. Bill Clinton put a cigar in socks. I don't know.
This is actually. I'm ashamed
We
of
gotta-
this.
This is the Patreon only.
This joke will take us back to the more family friendly side of things. Abe Lincoln was a historical pussy boy. If you read the history books, he had 2 cats that he would pet for hours in the Oval Office. But guess what, Abe? You're not even your cat's favorite president, because that, of course, was President Garfield.
Nice.
That is wholesome.
That's good. I got a wholesome one. Ready? This is President. I got 2 for Biden's cat. President Biden's cat Willow is the only cat in history to take less naps than his owner.
Okay, that's.
nice.
I actually am offended because I love Joe Biden.
We love.
I know. I'm just saying he's an old guy and he probably takes a lot of naps.
He's not old.
I like Joe Biden too. Okay, here's one then you'll like better then.
V-Rod.
The only
Still
thing I
virile.
can think of that would be less boring. I'm sorry. The only thing I can think of that would be more boring than being Joe Biden's cat is to be one of Trump's books.
Ooh.
Pretty good. Do you have any?
Nah, man. I think we end on that,
Wait,
and we just sort of stare.
I got a couple. I have a couple.
Rattle him off.
So I have a little bub one. So
Oh, I have like 40 more jokes. We're doing this for a while.
So this is the only little bub. I re-looked at my little bub jokes. I don't want to say them, but I will say this one. Lil Bub's last film was called I'll Be Next Door for Christmas, starring Mad TV's own Nicole Sullivan. While that's only a setup for a Lil Bub roast, it's definitely a punchline for Nicole Sullivan. Thank you very much.
My Lil Bub jokes suck, so I'm gonna skip those. But I got some Nicolas Cage cat jokes.
Oh yeah, hit us with the cage cat.
All right, ready? We got. By the way, can you? Oh, never mind. Okay. Okay. So Nicolas Cage has a cat. He eats whale insects, loves catnip, and shits in a box. And then, of course, there's his cat.
Very nice. Very nice.
Whale insects.
Whale insects. I didn't know what that. Okay.
So apparently there was a cat called Casper the bus riding cat. It was on that list. He's just an English cat who rode the bus. He's famous. Casper was famous for riding the city bus lines in London, England. Interesting, I guess in England, famous is another word for poor. All right. Well, that was roasting famous and infamous cats. I think we did a really good job.
Nicolas Cage's cat drinks out of a leather bowl. Guys, I got... No, you can cut that one out.
I will. This is the only thing I'm cutting out of this podcast. All right, so we're coming towards the end here, and I think a way to kind of really make this thing maybe a little bit more wholesome, maybe something we can clip out and put on Facebook rather than TikTok,
Rather than the filth that we've done.
We all had the assignment to decide if our cat was a famous actor or actress or whatever, just famous. Who would it be? So does anybody want to start?
So if I think the assignment is your cat has taken human form and has become an existing celebrity. I'll go first. I think Marv is Idris Elba.
Oh.
I just finished Hijack, and look, Marv's a big dude. He's a 12-pounder. That's big in the cat world. I think Marv is very cool. He's very chill. He's got a commanding presence and is just undeniably beautiful. And that is all the things that Idris Elba is.
You can't argue with that
Now-
at all.
And I love him.
He is short. Shouldn't he star in LoJack?
I mean, we'll give that to Adam for the next podcast.
Okay.
I know. I mean, look. Are we going to do the assignment the way that we were supposed to do
Jesus
it?
Christ, Danny.
Which is-
would you relax?
This
guess
becomes a
Danny's
human.
question is, did I understand the assignment?
All I want to know is
What if you didn't and you got it wrong? Who,
I don't
Are we
know
okay?
if I understood.
All
the
right,
assignment.
Zach, you're next.
I think that Mochi is Maggie Smith, the actress.
Dame Maggie Smith.
Is she a dame? I wasn't sure. Damn,
yeah, damn.
Maggie Smith. What do you think about that?
Damn, Maggie Smith, you fine.
You find
All right,
out.
everybody stop right there. Stop in your tracks.
Because if we keep going,
Yes.
we just keep admitting that we find Maggie Smith sexually attractive.
Yeah, and also it's the accents we're putting on things.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a
going
lot
on.
of there's levels to this.
There's something quirky and funny about Mochi, but also kind of there's an elegance. You know, if you're a Downton Abbey fan, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're just watching Maggie Smith just chew up scenes, but she doesn't need to put too much on it. And Mochi isn't there to she's not there to run the whole thing. She's not the star, but she does she steals scenes. She's a showstopper.
It's nice. That's nice.
That's nice.
Adam.
So for holiday, I was reading that Mariah Carey sleeps 15 hours a day, surrounded by 20 humidifiers. And so I was like, that's a holiday move. I feel like that's
That's
like
awesome.
find her comfortable place and just chill out there forever and save her precious awake moments for whatever. So
Throwing up.
That's holiday.
Lily from North Carolina, born and bred in North Carolina. So I think Lily is kind of like Delta Burke, okay? A true Southern belle, and much like Greg, gets angry when she's not fed in time. Folks, that has been Pussy Boys. I think we will wrap it up there. Thank you for listening or watching or whatever you're doing. Pussy Boys, all Z. Google it. Don't Google the other one. It can get weird. All Z's, and you can find our social media and wherever we're putting this podcast up. And, probably in the description of this podcast, you can find where we're posting things. And thank you so much for being with us. And that's our episode.